Now you finally see that the narcissists in your life are never going to change. Your narcissistic dad, narcissistic mom, narcissistic husband, wife, kids, friends, coworkers, whomever you're dealing with, they are who they are. There is no chance of them changing, not now, not ever. The only change that can ever take place has to come from within you. Now this brings you to a fork in the road of your life. Should you stay with the narcissistic people or should you go? Which is the right answer? Which is the wrong answer? How about this? Both answers are wrong until you make it right, because this is what taking responsibility for the changes that you have to make looks like. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Before I continue, I want to let you know that I'm here for your support. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments. In addition to that, I do have a 5-week coaching program where I walk hand in hand with you every day for 5 weeks. If this sounds interesting to you, check the link down below. Now we're talking about the fork in the road of your life, where you realize that the narcissists are never going to change. And so you have some options here. Should you stay or should you go? Yet many of you, even though you would say, well, that answer is simple, Kevin, you get up and you go. Yet many of you are stuck somewhere in the middle of the paths of your opportunities. You've got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You say you want to leave, but you're unable to do it. Why? Because every answer is wrong. Why is it that staying in the abusive situation is the wrong answer? And why is it that leaving the abusive situation is the wrong answer? Well, let's get into it. Well, for obvious reasons, staying in abuse is wrong. Right? I mean, who wants to stay with a bunch of narcissists, even if it is family, even if it is your coworkers, even if it is your husband, your wife? Who wants? That's the wrong answer. Being in a situation where you are oppressed, where you're not able to be you. You're not free. You're a slave to their abusive nature. Right? That's the wrong answer. However, that path happens to be lit. When I say lit, I mean it's been exposed. You know what it looks like. You know what the players look like. You don't like it. You hate it. But you know what it looks like. You know what the walls look like. You know what you have in that environment. You know what the house looks like. You know what the food looks like. You know what everything looks like in that relationship. Let's call it dimly lit. I want to say dimly lit because even though you see to an extent what's down that abusive path that you've already been living in, you don't know the full extent of it, right? You hope it doesn't get worse, but there's always that possibility. So we're going to call it a dimly lit environment, but it's wrong. It's wrong to stay in that. Now let's look at option number 2. That is the option of going completely no contact. That's the option of leaving it all behind and taking a new path, right? The fork in the road. What makes that path wrong? Well, how about this? It's dark. It's scary because it's the unknown. By leaving that path you were on, you risk losing all of that. Not just the relationship, but you risk losing the home, the money, the cars, the food, the finances, the friends, the good times and the bad times. You lose it all. Kiss it goodbye, and you step into the darkness of the unknown, which is chaotic. You can't see anything. Where path number 1, where the narcissists are, at least that was dimly lit. At least you can see the people around. But in this unknown territory where you're starting over, you know nothing. It's pitch black. That's the wrong answer. Why is that the wrong answer, by the way? Because we're conditioned to stay out of dark places like that. Don't go too far into that dark cave. There's no light. You don't know what's in there. Might be some dragon ready to eat you. Right? This is the type of stuff that we are raised up believing. This is the stuff nightmares are made of. Stepping alone into the dark territory of the unknown. The mist. Ooh. So this is why both answers look wrong. This is why it looks wrong to go back to an abusive situation, but it also looks wrong to go on your own into the darkness of the unknown, should you decide to go no contact and leave the situation and risk losing everything. So what do? Well, you understand that both are going to be wrong until you make it right, either one. I'm going to say this again. Both answers are wrong. Should you stay, should you go? Both are wrong until you make it right. You might be saying, Kevin, how in the world do you make an abusive situation right? Well, again, take responsibility for how you view the abuse. There's the chance that you can turn your way of looking at it around and decide that you kind of like it. Kevin, are you crazy? I'm just saying. It's a possibility. After all, isn't that the real story of Beauty and the Beast? Many people look at the story of Beauty and the Beast and see it as a story of a beautiful princess who turned a monster into a handsome Prince Charming and they lived happily ever after. How about this? The Beast stayed the Beast because nobody can change. What really happened is Beauty in the story, Belle, started to see the Beast differently. She started saying, okay, I can be down with that. Okay, I'll make myself like that. And then she became enslaved and her life changed to match that of the Beast. Ooh, we don't like stories like that, but the reality is that's more likely. After all, we now know that you cannot take a cold, mean, calloused heart and turn it into something that it's not. You don't have the power to do that. Neither do I. Right? So you can always make it right by changing and transforming yourself into that situation, if that's the path you want to take. How do you make the path going the opposite way right? Well, you feel your way around the darkness. You discover the world brand new again. You'd put one foot in front of the other like a baby, relearning the world around you, picking up light here and there as you go until you build something new for yourself. Some of you say, Kevin, it's not sounding very good, going no contact. No, it's not. I'm not here to tell you that you're going to cut yourself off from abusive people and it's going to be a life of roses and daisies, because it's not. And anybody out there on social media or Instagram or YouTube that's saying, I cut myself off from narcissists, last year and I'm living my best life, and they're out in the club dancing, right? They have not changed their life yet. Don't listen to them. Because the reality is, when you cut yourself off from narcissists, you go through very dark territory. When you go into the world of discovering who you truly are, you go through darkness. There's no escaping that. You go through chaos. There's no escaping that. That's the story of Abraham. When God said, hey, Abraham, leave your family, leave that town, and I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the heaven. But you've got to get out of that toxic place. Abraham had no clue where he was going. It was darkness. That's the story of Moses, by the way, when he ran from Egypt and he left the narcissism behind him and he went into the unknown, and it became so dark and so lonely and so isolating for him that he started talking to a dang bush. How many of you have been alone in that place where you went crazy and you started talking to trees? That was our homeboy Moses right there. Crazy, out of his mind, processing the loneliness, the hardship of this world, not knowing who he was. That's what it looks like to go your own way, to separate yourself. It's not easy. And this is why it's wrong until you make it right, until you accept it. You accept who you are. You accept the decision. You accept the challenge. Okay? What's the probable outcome? Well, if you stay in an abusive relationship, the outcome of that is more of the same. It will never become anything different. You may view the abusers differently, but you'll only have whatever that relationship has. You'll never have anything more. The outcome of going your own way, so to speak, going no contact, starting a brand new life, well, that's limitless. If you can make your way through the darkness and the chaos of losing everything, well, the sky's the limit as to what you can do. It really is. But you have to crawl through that pain and through that darkness first. That loneliness. How do you make the decision for your life? Listen, nobody can make this decision for you. Nobody ultimately can tell you what's right or wrong, leaving narcissistic family and people and going into the unknown. Nobody can tell you what's right or wrong. I'm just here to tell you why both look wrong and will feel wrong in the beginning. Ultimately, here's what I tell people when I'm working with them one-on-one. If the thought of risking losing everything, becoming homeless even, hungry, isolated, no friends, if that sounds like a better and more peaceful option, as difficult as it sounds, if it sounds better than spending any more time with the abusive people, then there's your answer. Does this make sense? You have to outweigh. If being alone sounds better than being with that abusive person, then there is your answer. Because you will be alone. You will risk losing everything if you separate from those narcissists to find yourself. So think about that. I hope this video was informative for you. I'm available for your support. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments. I do have a 5-week coaching program where I walk hand in hand with you every day for 5 weeks. You can find out more about that down below. Follow me on Instagram at Join the Royal We and TikTok at The Royal We Official for quick 60-second videos. Also, if you are somewhere in this world and you have been impacted by the Royal We, send me a video, just a selfie-style video that says, Kevin, thank you. Thank you, the Royal We. I've heard you all the way out here in India, Japan, wherever you are. Send it to me in DM on my Instagram at Join the Royal We, and I will give you a free appointment. Sound good? For those of you who are hanging out and heard that bit, I'll be back with more videos for you right here. Until I'm back, watch this video right here. I've made this video just for you, and I've got to talk about this video for at least 20 seconds because that's how long this is going to stay here. You probably got about 10 seconds to click on this video now. Go ahead and click on it. Watch this video. All right? I'll be back right here on the Royal We.